Welcome back to the CAA Men's Basketball Insider, where we're joined by one of the premier voices in college basketball, John Fanta. And John, just 2 weeks now left in the regular season, some important games on tap this week. But before we dive into that, I'd like to get your thoughts on Hampton. The Pirates have won 3 in a row after a convincing 67-49 victory over Hofstra last Saturday and have already exceeded their most CAA wins in year one under Coach Ivan Thomas. What impresses you about the Pirates and how have they done it?
Well, Rob, great to be with you. And yes, this is a really good story that Ivan Thomas has put together. How has Hampton done it? Well, they're grabbing 13.3 offensive rebounds per game. That's 29th in college basketball. So they've out-rebounded their opponents in 16 games this season. So they get on the glass. They're a really good team at being physical and finding a way to win that battle on the boards. The defense, their defensive activity is impressive. Coach Thomas wouldn't have it any other way. He's a guy who's always been a hard-nosed coach who gets the most out of his players, coming from Ed Cooley's staff between Providence and Georgetown. So they're racking up 7.3 steals per game. That's second most in the CAA. So the defensive end of the floor, you got to talk about their physicality, you got to talk about. But I'll tell you what, when you have Kyrie Smullen and Noah Farrakhan, who are both scoring the ball at a high level, both had 18 points in the win over Drexel this past week, and then you follow that up and you hold Hofstra to 49 points. I just think it's the way that this team is shutting teams down offensively. They're saying, we're going to guard you the moment you get off the bus, and we're going to get up in you. And then on the scoring front, they've been able to find a dynamic duo that has worked out really well for them. And not to mention George Beal Jr., who had 11 for them against Hofstra. Farrakhan's having a terrific year for them. And this is a team that, when you can rebound the way that they do, when you can defend the way that they do, I even like Wayne Bristol Jr., who gave him 16 points against Hofstra. He's a guy who's in his 4th season of college basketball and came with Ivan from Georgetown and is doing a nice job. This Hampton team, they're playing the game the right way, and they're doing the little things. And the little things are what it takes to get on a bit of a surge in this conference. This conference is all about attention to detail. And Hampton, they're winning at the little things between rebounding, defense, and then a couple of stars who have emerged, and one of the better duos, I think, as of late in the conference.
Yeah, great stuff. Hampton's certainly a great story in the conference this season. All right, now let's look ahead to this week. And we start at the top with one of the hottest teams in the nation, the Towson Tigers, who have won now a program record 12 straight games. They're closing in on their second CAA regular season title in 4 years. But, John, this week they hit the road to face two teams they haven't seen all season, in Elon and Campbell. What do you see in those matchups?
First and foremost, this is an unbelievable job done by Pat Scarry. And I know that his team was picked at the top of the league, but you still have to be able to do it. And his team has lost just one game since December 17th. Just one conference loss. And that came at Charleston after an overtime win at UNCW, which that was an amazing pivot point for them to win at UNCW. It was the only matchup of the year that they have with the Seahawks, and it was massive that they got that. They went on the road and did it. Now you go to Elon and you go to Campbell. Well, Elon, look, they've had some bright spots in the conference season. They had lost 3 straight, but they just won at UNCW. So I'll tell you what, with Elon, you better be ready to contain TK Simpkins, because he had 32 points at UNCW. TK is explosive. He's fantastic. He could score the ball in a variety of ways. Him and TJ Simpkins, the brothers Simpkins, I'll tell you what, Rob, those two can just flat out score it, and they could do so many things. So I think when you're looking at this game, what does Towson have to be ready for? Well, the size of Matthew Van Coleman, because he's a guy at 7'4" who makes Elon a difficult team to face, because you're just not used to playing players that are that large, and he's a big man. And then I think it's a matter of you got to stop the ball with Andrew King. Andrew King coming off a 7 assist, 3 steal performance, and Sam Sherry to me is the X factor. So if you're Towson now and you're getting ready for this, you just have to dedicate the same level of intensity on the defensive end of the floor to the Simpkins brothers, and you got to make them work for what they're going to get. And I think on the flip side, for Towson, look, know who your stars are. And your stars all year have been Tyler Tejada, Dylan Williamson, and then Nenda Tark. And I think for this team, it's important that Tomiwa Suleiman plays a key role in all these games because he's kind of an X factor for the role that he plays. And then for Christian May to give them something is always helpful. But Tejada, Tark, and Williamson, you just look over the last 4 games, and all 3 of those guys have led them in scoring at one point or another. So the win over Delaware by 5 last week was pretty impressive because I thought that Delaware played them really tough, and Delaware got to the free throw line 16 times. They only missed twice. But Towson out-rebounded them 41-25. And you know what's impressive, Rob? Towson rebounds by committee. It's not just one guy. This is a team that does it. They play collectively for their coach. They play to an identity, a DNA that's rooted in Towson toughness. And so now this weekend, you got to bring it. Because I'll tell you what, Kevin McGeehan's done an unbelievable job with Campbell. I mean, to lose Jason Sinani and be able to just grind through the way that they have, that really, really impressive. Nice bounce back win at Delaware for them. Colby Dugan is in the Player of the Year conversation in this league. The numbers that he's going for right now are just insane. He had 33 on 12 of 18 from the floor this past Saturday, 4 of 4 from 3. He is playing at an insane level, and Tassos Cook has to be key for Campbell. But I think it's a matter of, if you're Towson, you can't let Dugan get loose in the same way that you can't let TK Simpkins get going. And because I think for Towson, the thing they've had going for them is they always defend, they always rebound, but they've always got Tyler Tejada late in the game.
Yeah, what a great story the Tigers have been, not just in the CA, but nationally this season with that streak they have going. All right, also on Thursday night, William & Mary, which is a perfect 12-0 at Kaplan Arena, welcomes a UNCW squad looking to bounce back from a loss at Elon last Saturday to snap their 9-game winning streak. What are the keys for both teams in this one?
Well, I'll tell you what, you talk about one of the more underrated mid-major stories in college basketball as well this season. I mean, Towson is a national story. William & Mary, that's a really impressive story. And what Coach Earl's been able to do is really remarkable, to have his team in this situation right now where they've just played such a quick tempo. It's so enjoyable to watch, and they're tied up at 10-4 in this league. I mean, what I'm looking for heading into the weekend is you got Charleston, William & Mary, and Campbell all at 10-4. Well, that double bye hangs in the balance here. And 4 teams get it. So this is big. In terms of this weekend and what William & Mary, can be ready for is a UNCW team that's going to be angry and is coming off of a loss after they were on a terrific 9-game winning streak. So look, let's look at the ingredients to it. I mean, in the first game between these two teams, UNCW won 85-74. Well, what did they do? One, their offense shined through. And William & Mary's can too, but in this game, Bo Montgomery was phenomenal with 24.7 rebounds and 3 assists. And when Donovan Newby and Bo Montgomery are both playing real well, and UNCW shows any defensive resistance in this conference, they're going to be really tough to beat. So if you're William & Mary, you got to say, who do we take away? If I'm doing this, Scott, I'm saying we have to find a way defensively to take one of these two guys away or limit them. Because if you let them both get sizzling, it's over against most teams. Or you're going to have to play an outstanding game on your side. Here's the thing. William & Mary could do that, and they can do that at Kaplan because they can fly, Rob. They're so refreshing to watch. They can knock down threes between Gabe Dorsey, who's just an automatic shooter, and Matthias Case and the job that he can do for them, and Boothby as well. I really like this team, even Kyle Pulliam, who's dynamic. So, look, it's going to be a fun matchup. I expect us to see some up and down basketball because that's what you're going to get. But I think it's interesting because UNCW plays 257th tempo in America. And if you look at William & Mary, they're 23rd. This is a battle of contrasting styles. Two terrific coaches in Coach Siddle and Coach Earl. Which style wins? Can UNCW impose their will on this game, or will the road team have to learn, hey, at Kaplan this year, you got to run a track meet? Fun matchup between two of the best teams in the conference. I can't wait.
Yeah, it should be a great one. Looking forward to that one as well as we get closer and closer, as you said, to March Madness. John, thanks as always for your time and the breakdown. And make sure to follow the CAA as always on all of our social media outlets at CAA Basketball.